make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the king of violence. He titles himself, and you know he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting for him.
Don't aspire to be, you know, one of these like YouTuber fighters.
Right.
Aspire for world titles. Aspire for Olympic.
That's him now. He's super jacked.
He looks like a bodybuilder.
See, that's what he looks like now. He's still jacked. Still looks great. He looks good though.
Whoa. He looks so old now.
He looks different.
In a recent episode of Asterisk, the Joe Rogan Experience Asterisk, Joe Rogan discussed one of the most talked about matchups in combat sports, Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul. Known for his honest views and extensive MMA knowledge, Rogan shared his insights on how the fight might unfold, examining the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters.
There's something about like calling somebody out, which you immediately respect them a little bit more, like willing to put yourself out there for a fight.
He called out Conor McGregor too.
That's what Jake's doing.
Yeah.
That kid is a master troll, dude. He's a master creating hype. Like, dude, if I'm Dana White, I'm praying that this guy can actually.
A Jake Paul Amanda Nunes boxing match.
That's because Dana said, maybe I'll let Amanda Nunes knock him out.
Now I think people are coming around. I say, if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters, you'd go, this kid can fight. He knows how to fight. It's not, nothing he's doing looks wrong. He's not like sticking his head straight up in the air and winging punches with his eyes closed. He's fighting well. He looks good. And if he was just an up and coming boxer that was this exciting, like highly promotable, like really good at selling fights, he'd be like, this kid.
In a recent episode of Asterisk, the Joe Rogan Experience Asterisk, Joe Rogan sparked a lot of discussion by analyzing Conor McGregor's career path. Rogan pointed out that McGregor's decline as a fighter was largely due to his self-destructive behavior, which he believed was fueled by a mix of money, fame, and the negative tendencies that came with them.
If Conor's ever going to fight again.
What's happening with his the civil suit? He's being dropped by all his companies or something?
Yeah, you know, I don't know the real details of that case, but the reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard.
Dude, some of his interviews, you can tell he is out of it. Have you seen the Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor interview for Roadhouse? And he's just tweaking the whole time?
He's
and
tweaking?
Jake's just like...
You know, it's funny. Shane Gillis has a great bit about Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. He goes, Conor McGregor basically played a cooked out Conor McGregor in Roadhouse.
To fully grasp the weight of Joe Rogan's critique, it's important to look back at Conor McGregor's rise. When McGregor joined the UFC, he quickly became a dominant figure, known for his bold personality and savvy self-promotion. His charisma made him a fan favorite, but it was his impressive performances inside the octagon that truly cemented his place in MMA history.
That's the most important fight of your career. Give us your thoughts on this rematch. He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm going to kill you and your whole team. You and their kids. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. It's what I dreamed into reality.
A pivotal moment in McGregor's career came in 2015 when he knocked out the legendary Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds to win the UFC Featherweight Championship. McGregor's rapid ascent continued with a historic feat at UFC 205 in 2016, where he became the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles in different weight classes at the same time. At that point, it seemed like nothing could stand in McGregor's way, and he was on track to become the greatest fighter in MMA history.
I'm your father. I'm your daddy, eh? Call me Jose Senior.
When we do.
Tell him I'm his daddy. Tell him I'm his daddy.
I really don't care. Like, he can do whatever he wants, and I'll continue to be the champion.
He said, tell him he's his daddy.
Tell him I am his daddy.
Ele é o seu pai.
Nunca vai ser.
Sit on my lap.
Nunca vai ser. Tá mais fácil.
Sit on my lap.
Eu domino.
The thing is this. When you knock a champion who's been that dominant and that good for 10 years out in 14 seconds, 13. There is a question, which is, was that in some ways a...
However, as Rogan highlights, McGregor's decline started shortly after reaching these career peaks.
Dylan Dennis is a professional fighter. He's a professional fighter. He jumps out. He takes a swing at him. They're screaming, and Dylan's like, "F you," and he's like, "F you," and there's a bunch of people get involved, and then a bunch of other people jump in. The whole thing was nuts. But the idea that we should be shocked after him throwing a dolly at a bus because Khabib's on the bus, those Russians don't fucking play like that, man.
Yeah. Did you see the videos afterwards when Dagestan where they're shooting off the Uzis and AK?
Woman who accused the mixed martial arts fighter Conor McGregor of raping her in a hotel in Dublin 6 years ago has won a civil case against him. The jury has found McGregor liable and ordered him to pay Nikita Hand €250,000 in damages.
McGregor's MMA career has faced setbacks in recent years. After his high-profile loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov in 2018, he fought only occasionally, with his most recent fight in July 2021 ending in a severe leg injury against Dustin Poirier.
UFC fighter Conor McGregor has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman after an NBA basketball game in Miami earlier this month. A legal letter outlining the allegations was sent to Mr. McGregor and seen by BBC News. It says the alleged assault took place in a bathroom at an arena in Miami. The woman's lawyer said she'd been watching Game 4 of the finals on Friday the 9th of June before the alleged incident happened. She alleged the woman was forced into a men's bathroom by security guards from the NBA and Miami Heat before being violently assaulted by Mr. McGregor. A lawyer representing Mr. McGregor said, "The allegations are false. Mr. McGregor will not be intimidated." Both the City of Miami Police and the Miami Heat, which hosted the NBA Finals game, say that they are conducting...
Chandler, you said good match for Conor. Is that ever happening? Or
I don't know if Conor's ever going to fight again.
What's happening with his, he just got like the civil suit or whatever, and he's being dropped by all his companies or something.
Yeah. I don't know the real details of that case. I know his version of it and her version of it and what played out in the court. But the reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard. And he talked about it in the court case. He's talking about cocaine. Like that was the whole thing, that we're all doing cocaine. And
since then, McGregor has focused on recovery while also exploring opportunities outside the octagon. His 2017 boxing match with Floyd Mayweather, though a loss, showcased his ability to attract huge pay-per-view audiences, confirming that he remains a global star.
How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
$350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Floyd's not ready for this. Much respect to Floyd, he's a solid businessman. What he has been able to do, he is a full animal at what he has been able to do. But as far as real fighting, as far as true, pure, unarmed combat, Floyd don't want none of this. I think he does not want none of this. People will even ask him. He wants it on the boxing rules. He wants a boxing match. He doesn't want to fight. So much respect everyone in here. I love everyone is. Give Floyd a shout out.
Jake Paul, in contrast, represents a new wave of combat sports entertainers. He first gained fame as a YouTuber before shifting to professional boxing, where he's built a name for himself by facing celebrity athletes and former MMA fighters.
I think he's like any other young up-and-coming boxer. It's just everybody dismisses him because he's a YouTuber.
For sure. It's easy to dismiss him, but I was there when he knocked out Tyron, and I was like, man, I'm done with this kid. I never wanted to corner another fight in my life, man. I was like, yo, he just knocked my boy flat out on his face, man. I was heartbroken.
Bro, he has power. It's real power.
Paul's bold personality, marketing savvy, and improving boxing skills have earned him a string of notable wins, including victories over former UFC fighters like Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva.
Paul wasn't Jake Paul. If he wasn't this YouTube guy, he was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. Knock him out with one punch like that. You're like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's for real. Because nothing about watching him fight screams like he's in over his head. If it wasn't that big YouTube star, you'd be like, that dude's got dynamite in his hand.
It is, but I see a lot of people talking funny stuff about, like, the leg kick didn't knock him out. What happened? Like, so DC says in the detailed breakdown, I kick Conor's calf, and Conor steps back and his leg kind of goes, and DC says, well, that's the leg kick that, hurt his leg or whatever. But when he went after that leg kick, he kind of reached down to grab the foot and threw an uppercut. And I was switch stance, so I threw a cross from my backhand that clipped him good. And that's when he took the step back and was hurt. I think that's a detail people are missing. That right hand.
Well, you landed a lot of solid shots in that fight, but there's no doubt that leg kick was fucking that right leg up.
For sure.
Let me show y'all proof that Conor McGregor did, in fact, injure the leg that he broke in the third Dustin Poirier fight 3 years ago, just weeks before their bout. Right here, drilling kicks over and over again. It was already taped up before that, and everyone was like, oh, he heard it off of a Dustin Poirier check. Y'all don't know shit about MMA. He even posted about this after the fight.
Paul has been open about his desire to fight McGregor, using social media since 2020 to call him out. He's mocked McGregor's losses and taunted him with offers of multi-million-dollar payouts. While some viewed Paul's actions as just a publicity stunt, his rising profile in boxing has made people take notice.